1, we're live. Oh, there we go. Let me hit continue, continue. Yes, from last save. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a very, very last minute thing. I am here with
Crazy Chick 96, also known as Clara.
my best friend, who just for the first time in all of her history saw the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I mean, we just saw it, so it's like, holy crap. Oh, man.
Now, what the fuck are you doing? Anyway, I'm playing a game at the same time, so if it gets kind of what the fuck, try and draw me back in. But from your first ever impressions from one of the oldest horror films ever, not counting Nosferatu and any of those like old movies, what did you think of it?
First impressions? They actually really do good on Creep. Like, really good on Creep. It's not exactly like shit your pants horror.
No, it's more.
It's more along the lines of disturbing imagery, is what it was going for.
Not only disturbing, it's one of the more, without having a lot of blood to it, one of the more graphic films of its time.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Now, Claire also doesn't know the backstory to why this movie got made and its original title. So, shall I explain a little bit about this movie?
Let's delve into the history of this, and then we can go on with the actual
review.
movie itself. Yeah.
Now, this movie had one of the worst original starting titles in the history of the world. I will fully admit that. The original title was called Head Cheese.
Head cheese.
After the name of what, you know, in the movie.
That one dude mentions my brother makes the best head
cheese, yeah. That was because originally it was supposed to be called Head Cheese. Now, they thankfully came up with a lot better of a fucking title than Head Cheese. Oh, fuck off, Cazador.
Anyway.
But, now, did you know this was inspired by a serial killer?
As it mentioned in the first few... No, not even the first few. Like, the first 15-ish seconds with the whole text and read-through, yeah, it mentioned that it was inspired by an actual serial killer.
Now, the serial killer is now well famously known for what he did, but back when it was originally released, Leatherface, including two other famous movie killers, is inspired by Ed Gein. Famous for having skulls of people made into cups and bowls, robbing, basically
Graves
and stuff like that, and eating flesh and all this horrifying shit that the town didn't believe at the time. But yeah, this was based off of Ed Gein. Although the exploits are a lot different than how
Ignore that.
you know how it normally is. But shall we go into movie talk? Since I got
Yeah, let's go for that because I don't have that much time left, to be completely honest. I have like 15 minutes.
I'll try and make this as brief as possible of a stream, as long as it's not too short. Anyway, continue on. What did you think of everything?
Okay, starting with like the beginning sequence of like the whole camera flashes and stuff, that put puts the mood of the entire thing entirely, and it also like gives the idea that oh, it's inspired by this serial killer because of the graphic great, and it mentions like the grave robberies and stuff, and the graphic imagery was like oh, pieces like heads and other stuff that were from the bodies went missing. Also gives a good glimpse of what's going to come. Then the whole road trip, I guess, that you see, even though it's a short one.
I mean, I don't even understand the road trip aspect, but we'll give them some slack. It was the 1970s.
Yep. But basically, it's just to get more into or get to more information about the family that was on said road trip, and our first glimpse into what insanity was to come. By that I mean the freaking hitchhiker that they pick up.
The hitchhiker. I don't even know the fucker's name, but spoilers because it's an old movie, but also spoilers for those who haven't seen it. He's a part of another family of cannibals.
Yep. And all three of them are inspired by the same guy. So,
well, not all three. I mean, technically.
Well, one of them makes barbecue out of the corpses. The other one does the killing, and the other one does the grave robbery. So yes, technically, all three are based off the same guy.
Technicality.
So anyway, and then rolling back. Let's see. After when you see the whole freaking hitchhiker scene, it's just like that leaves you with a sense of what the fuck is going to happen, and it's just like what. But then they go to this place. It's a gas station. They say, "Oh, we have the best barbecue around," and it's just like, okay. I don't know. That's just it's just like what? Who the fuck? Actually, I don't know if something tells me that the dude that had more forehead than anything was Leatherface. I don't know why.
No, actually, Leatherface is the guy with the chainsaw.
I know, but it's like without the Leatherface and everything, it throws me off because he was there at the gas station and we don't see him again after that, so I'm not sure.
Well, in the movie, Leatherface never shows his face, so...
Yeah, that's true.
Although they do have a facsimile of a face on his face. Again, spoiler.
Yes. Well, that gives him his name, Leatherface, because duh. Anyway, let's see, where were we? The gas station. You learn a little bit more, like, oh, stay for a little while and you'll get your gas and stuff. Yeah, bad idea. So then they drive up to their old folks' place, which was relatively near where the other guys were, literally living, and is ridiculous to a point because, let's see. First thing they do is look at the house. And there's this one guy in a wheelchair that is like literally sensible to a point, but a whiny little bitch.
Franklin. Everyone...
A whiny little bitch in a wheelchair.
Can I also say they meant to make Franklin as annoying as possible? So annoying, in fact, that his actual castmates actually hated him during the film process.
Well, gotta be in character. That's what makes it a good movie, is if you're in character a lot, even if off the set, you're pretty good at method acting. But anyway, where were we? Oh yeah. So then, 2 of the main 5 decide, hey, let's go swimming.
Which I can understand. You're in the middle of Texas. You're going to fucking...
And it's the fucking heat. You're in the middle of the fucking heat and everything, so it's just like, yeah. Franklin tells them, oh, there's a path that leads to a watering hole between two sheds.
Franklin two sheds.
So then the two go and run down the hill and everything. Then they look up and realize, oh, hey, there's a house. We should probably go check it out and see if anyone's home so that we can, I don't know, pay them for some gas or whatever. I don't know. I was paying attention to the dialogue, but it's just like I kind of forgot at this point after the whole thing. So they go up and they check it out. The dude literally goes in to see if anyone's home, while the chick is like, let's just go. Oh yeah, that was after the tooth part, like
which was one of my
tooth, the damn tooth.
That was one of my stupid favorite parts because it was one of those.
It's like this. Oh look, it's like, oh look, a tooth. Let's just give it to the chick and freak her out.
Which, again, it was a dick move, but I can appreciate stupid dick moves, honestly. Like, don't deny if you were in the situation and you could do that to someone that you was
close to you but understands that, oh, you're just dicking around.
Yeah.
Like, if you did that to me, all I would do is just smack you in the arm for that.
Hold on, in game something's happening. Eat my dick. Eat my dick. Continue on while I make these idiots eat my penis.
Okay, anyway. So, like, after the whole tooth situation, or after the whole little tooth thing, the dude goes into the house while the girl's just like, let's just go. Let's just leave, okay? And at that point, if I was the dude, I would listen to the chick because she was sensible. Like, hello. If no one answers the door at first, just leave. And then the dude walks in, and there's pig noises from a freaking room that you can see these skulls mounted on the wall. And they're not human skulls, they're like animal skulls. So that's kind of normal because people who hunt mount their prey's heads on the wall. You would know that. And then, you get the first glimpse of Leatherface. Because he just, like, pops out into the doorway, grabs the man, slams him in the freaking head with a freaking sledgehammer, and he goes down, and it's just like, what? And he spasms on the ground for a few seconds before Leatherface decides, you know what, he's not dead yet. Smack!
Well, as they said in the movie, and this is again supposed to be like a whole entire thing on, how we somehow torture helpless freaking animals and all that, the old method of killing frickin' cattle with sledgehammers.
Yeah, it was actually explained kind of in the beginning of the movie with the hitchhiker and with Franklin. Because they passed by a slaughterhouse.
And there's two methods. There's the old method, which was sledgehammer to head.
Until they died. And then the other method was it an air gun that they mentioned?
It's an air rifle, basically.
Yep.
Which, basically, all that does is it shoots a spear right into their head. Boom, quick, clean kill. Clara?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just, I'm kind of mentally digesting what the fuck I saw anyway.
See, this is why I enjoyed the original. Oh, fuck off, Deathclaw.
Oh, yeah, I enjoyed the original fuck off, Deathclaw. Yeah,
the original,
horror shit.
Yeah, I enjoy movies that
just make you sit there and just try to mentally digest what the fuck you saw. Yeah, I can get that. But anyway, as we were, so after a little bit, the chick's just like, dude, are you coming? Let's just go. And then she gets up and tries and goes to check it out herself. She then goes into what would be a kitchen with a lot of fucking feathers on the ground and bones. I think it was more like the living room because I don't think it was the kitchen.
I don't know.
It was a room, and there's like a caged chicken dangling from the ceiling for some reason.
I think that
And
might be
she
their
just-
pet.
It's either their pet or their next meal. I don't know.
I
So
think
she
it's their pet.
trips. So she trips and lands in among the feathers and bones that were on the ground. And you get a good look at all the bones and everything that they used to make their furniture, or at least help make slash decorate the place.
I mean,
Yeah,
Martha Stewart, they ain't.
yeah, that's just the. And then she gets caught by Leatherface, dragged off to what would be a kitchen, and basically had meat hook into her back.
She really chose a bad time to be wearing a backless shirt.
Oh yeah.
I mean, honestly, she would still be in pain, but you wouldn't guess where she was gonna be killed by. What?
Yep. So after a little bit, the scene goes back to the house, and it's like the remaining two dudes, and I think was it Sarah or Samantha? I don't remember the name anymore. It started with an S.
The yes bitch.
Yeah. The blonde-haired S bitch is what we're gonna call her. So Franklin and S bitch were out by the van, and Franklin's looking for his knife, because yes, he had a knife with him. It was like one of those, Swiss Army knives?
I think it was a cheap folding knife.
Yeah, one of the two. And, it's just like asking her, well, what'd you do with my knife? You had it last. Because he figured, I gave it to you because the dude's blood on it. So she couldn't find it. And then the other dude that was not constrained to a wheelchair goes and just like, yo, do you know where the other two went? And Franklin's just like, yeah, just take the path. And he does. He looks up, sees a house, and is just like, oh, maybe that's where they went. Goes to check it out. Boy, oh boy, was he gonna get a rude awakening.
I mean, honestly, at that point, you knew he was dead. You knew it.
Because, like, okay, he goes into the kitchen, and there's no sign of the other two. He then hears something in the freezer and opens one of the doors up, only to find the girl, who spasms up, or at least spasms to a point where she's sitting up and practically laying up onto the, or trying to get out of the freezer. Leatherface comes, and the dude screams like a bitch.
He really did sound like a little fucking bitch at that point.
He literally screamed like a bitch just before whack.
Also, okay, really fast, again, this is just for the audience at home, because we do have some time to burn, but, the reason all the actors were in genuine fear, mind you, this was not scripted or anything, so it wasn't like someone was forcing them to scream. They had never seen Leatherface before that.
Like, the only thing that they knew were their lines and where and when they were gonna happen.
Actually, I don't even think they planned that for. They just were like, okay, you're going to be in here We're not gonna show you Leatherface, which I need to remember his name while you continue to talk.
Ugh, sorry, I just had to sneeze. But yeah, they didn't know. So that was genuine fear. I don't know if they didn't know what was gonna happen to them for that point.
Well, they knew, like, they were going to die, but they didn't know what the person looked like, which Gunnar Hansen was the original Leatherface.
He did a good job with that. Bumbling idiot that had a chainsaw too.
Well, there's the thing. When Gunnar was given the part, he was not given a specific instruction, so he made Leatherface have a mute almost.
A mute yet bumbling idiot.
I mean,
I love it.
He did talk, but he didn't say any real world words.
He's just like, which honestly was just like gave me the idea of bumbling idiot because that's all he did was bumble, mumble, and just.
Well, what before
But yeah,
before you continue, I'm about to go screw some lady. So
good to know.
Anyway, continue on.
So then you cut back to Franklin and S bitch.
Really forgot her fucking name, honestly.
Anyway, so we cut back to the two, and they have a little argument over the flashlight because it was nighttime.
Actually, they had an argument over what the
over if she should go or not, which was the first thing. And then they argue over the flashlight, and then they go, and then Franklin goes to see if they could leave to go to the gas station to get some help, and then he realizes that the keys were gone. One of the three that got killed had them. And let's see, where were we? So then they decide, fuck it, we'll go together.
Well,
and S bitch is just pushing this big lug that's on a wheelchair down a hill. And they're both calling out for their friends, and it's the scene itself, yeah, it may not be comical, but how it's viewed can be kind of comical.
Yeah, hence why I said, okay, Red Lucy now decided to become possessed, anyway.
Okay. Anyway, can we continue before we get way off track and I am going to miss... Yeah, anyway.
Now, I just want to point things out in game that you'll see once you see the stream.
Yeah. But anyway, where were we? Oh yeah. So then they look up and they spot the house. And more like, hey, I heard something. Look up. Oh, that looks like a house. Let's just go check it out.
Actually, they looked up and fucking Leatherface.
Not quite yet. No. It was more like, oh, look, let's go. Start going. Then Leatherface.
Yeah, like, let's not forget, there was Leatherface in between those.
I know. And then, out of pure self-preservation, S-Bitch runs back without Franklin, who gets mauled in his wheelchair by Leatherface via chainsaw. Oh, man. It's just like, dude, you needed to fucking die, but at the same time, I felt sorry for him the entire movie.
Well, I mean, honestly, let's face it, he was an annoying little shitheel.
He was an annoying, whiny little bitch, but at the same time, he had the most logic out of all of them.
Fair. And that gets to the, well, at least spoil part of the ending, because I know Claire has to go, because...
Let's just say, long chase scene goes out into the wild, turns, circles back around towards the house, so on and so forth, till it gets to the point where she finally runs to the gas station. Who, surprise, surprise, the freaking gas station, the owner was there. But bigger surprise, there's a twist. He is one of the motherfuckers that she had to run away from, too. Because he basically hog ties her, kind of.
Actually, yeah, I think that was legitimate hog tying.
Yeah, so hog ties her, gags her, and then puts a bag over her, stuffs her into the passenger side of his truck, then drives back to the house where he sees the one dude that was the hitchhiker, which happens to be one of his sons. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it gets very disturbing from there. Like, the fuck? So after when they get her all seated up and everything, tied down to a chair, they then torment her with just... Because she sees what's in the house. She sees all this, that, and the other. And the weirdest thing, by far, has got to be when they bring their grandpa down, who I originally thought was dead. He looked dead. He looked fucking dead. I'm not kidding you. I'm just like, well, he is dead.
Wasn't that one?
The freaking corpse that was actually in that chair was dead when I first saw them. So it's like, eh.
What a surprise, wasn't it? Grandpa ain't dead, bitch.
It's just like, he ain't dead yet, bitch. And then after when they carry the grandpa down and set him right by her, he then the dude that literally was just like the freakiest thing, grabs her by the arm, holds out her freaking index finger, cuts it open, and sticks it in Grandpa's mouth.
Yeah, and he starts suckling.
And I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck, is Grandpa a vampire or something?
They feast on everything.
Exactly, they're cannibals. So I was technically right when I said vampire. Considering that the dude started sucking on her blood, and it's just like, does he need that blood to live or some shit? Technically, yes, because, well... Then after that whole fest, she passes the fuck back out, wakes up, and the three are having dinner. She starts screaming, the boys start howling like wolves, and it's just like... fucking, just... imagery goes from weird to creepy to creepier to creepier, and then it gets to a point where they're gonna try and have Grandpa kill her with the freaking sledgehammer.
Which is where Clara here might well listen, because one of my favorite things I ever said, and again, this is just a theory of mine. Ooh, I didn't know about that, but anyway. One of my favorite theories is that, yes, she technically escapes, but does she really? Because as the father mentioned, it only takes 65 minutes for one of his hits to kill someone.
So she probably lived, like, I have a feeling she lived long enough to tell somebody about what happened, but not long enough to survive the incident.
Like, that's what I think anyway. I could be 100% wrong, mind you.
I mean, it's a possibility, okay? It's a possibility that she died, but it's a possibility that she lived. Either way, she probably had enough time to tell somebody about what happened.
Oh yeah, because there were sequels. Are they as good? No. Continue on.
But anyway, after when she escapes, finally, she runs, gets to the road. One of the sons gets hit by a truck. The truck driver happens to be someone that tried to rescue her from Leatherface.
Ah, smart
It
man.
didn't exactly work, but it helped slow him down long enough for the next person that comes by, a guy on a pickup,
To at least scare the fuck out of there. Yeah.
yeah, to at least, stop, turn around, and have her climb into the freaking tailgate before taking off. And we're left with just Leatherface, just angry and upset, swinging his chainsaw around like the dunce he is.
Actually, I don't think that was Dunce. I think he just really, really was pissed off they couldn't kill the bitch. Which, I mean, honestly, wouldn't you be upset because she invaded your home and all this stuff?
Yep, she basically did breaking and entering.
So they're friends, so, like, again, they were provoked a little bit, so.
I mean, true. I mean, they could have just left the place, and none of that would have ever happened.
But it wouldn't be as fun. I'll be honest, it wouldn't be as fun.
True. But anyway, that was the entire movie in a nutshell.
Now, here's the interesting part before we probably have to go, because again, you have to leave and everything. Would you recommend the original?
I mean, probably. Like, it's an interesting tale, and it is based off of a true story, or at least off of a true event, I guess, or person.
Yeah, it was based off of a true person, at least.
Yep. And basically, it takes horror to, like, yeah, it's not an extreme, but at least it's one of those that makes you think, what the fuck did I just watch?
That's the thing, it's scary in the sense of, holy shit, you might have nightmares, not holy shit, look at that thing jump at me.
Well, it's not like, make your heart race scary. It's more like the mental fuck with your mind type scary. Like, it gives the whole sense of what could have been security and throws it out the fucking window. Like, okay, the house that I kept mentioning, like the one that they keep stumbling upon, it looks really nice on the outside. Like, it's nicely painted and everything. Inside, though, it looks like a pigsty. So basically, in horror films, if it looks like a mess on the inside, it's probably not going to be the safest place to go to.
Yeah, but again, as I said, would you, as someone who loves horror, recommend it as a good horror film and not just one of those ones you sit there, laugh at, and go, ha ha ha, how funny?
I mean, it depends on your taste of horror, but yes, I would recommend it. I would recommend it if you really want to take a look back on how horror was done back in the day.
Which means no real jump scares, honestly.
Like, no real jump scares, but it does give you a sense of suspense.
Which I miss nowadays, I actually do.
Although there is a good movie that does give you good suspense, and it's called Clown. I've watched it last year on my birthday, and it's good. Like, there's at least one jump scare, and it's a classic, and it's like a classically done jump scare, but it gives that sense of suspense like old movies did. So yeah, maybe one of these days we could do we could watch Clown, and you'll see what I mean.
But I think that'll about do it because how long has that been?
Yeah.
Like long enough. That'll be it.
Yeah, anyway.
It's 35 minutes. It's a short one, but again, you guys get the basic gist.
30-minute goodie.
I still highly recommend the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I mean, a lot of people nowadays would say, "Oh, that's so stupid. It doesn't have any jump scares," but manages to pull off something most movies don't anymore, and that is making you sympathize with people.
Like how it did for me with Franklin. I mean, Franklin's an incapacitated man. He can't really do anything considering he's stuck to a wheelchair. And considering he had the most sense, yeah. It kind of made me think, poor guy, he deserved better. And then it made me realize, yeah, he's a fucking prick, too.
Anyway,
But
as she said, she has to go in like 15 minutes, so
15 minutes went out the window anyway.
That's
But anyway,
thank you.
It was good to join you on a movie review, and it was a really educational-ish one, I guess.
Well, it's educational in the fact that this is the original serial killer movie.
It was the original, and it was based off of a story that actually happened. So, two different educational ways in one.
We might get into Nightmare on Elm Street, which also has a weird backstory to it, but again, thank you guys so much for watching. It has been short but sweet. My name was Moonshine Mage.
And Crazy Chick 96. See ya!
Bye, bitch.